The sea was calm that morning, too calm for what was about to happen. The massive gray silhouette of the USS Valor sliced through the blue waters like a sleeping beast. On its deck, sailors bustled, the metallic clang of boots echoing across the carrier as another group of recruits arrived. Among them was a young woman, small, composed, her uniform crisp and her eyes hidden behind aviator shades. Her name tag read letter Emily Carter, but when she stepped onto that steel deck for the first time, the laughter began. They didn't laugh out of malice. Not exactly. It was the kind of laughter that came from disbelief. A woman pilot boarding a combat carrier was rare enough. But this wasn't just any mission. This was the Pacific Fleet's elite strike unit, home to legends, men whose call signs were whispered with reverence across bases worldwide. Emily was stepping into a world that didn't think she belonged, and she could feel it in the smirks, the sideways glances, the sarcastic greetings. "Lost your way to the med bay, Lieutenant?" one crewman joked. Another muttered, "She's just here for show." But Emily didn't respond. She simply saluted the flag, her expression unreadable. Inside, though, her chest was tight. It had taken her 10 years, 10 grueling, exhausting, and heartbreaking years, to stand here. From the first day she touched the throttle of a simulator at flight school, to the nights she studied until dawn, replaying every maneuver in her mind. She had been told no more times than she could count. Her father, a Navy mechanic, had died during a carrier explosion when she was 12. They told her it was an accident, but she'd spent her whole life chasing the truth, and chasing his legacy. She didn't just want to fly. She wanted to prove that she belonged in the same skies that had taken her father from her. That first week was brutal. Every time she stepped onto the flight deck, she could feel the weight of eyes on her back. She wasn't assigned to fly immediately. Instead, she was placed on maintenance watch, helping prep the aircraft for senior pilots. Her hands grew raw from hours of work, but she didn't complain. She studied every jet, every engine hum, every vibration in the air as if they were pages of a secret book. She memorized mission logs, flight paths, radio codes, cause, and every call sign that appeared on the fleet's records. Then came her chance. A scheduled pilot was grounded due to a sudden illness before a routine training sortie. They needed someone qualified for backup, and Emily was the only one cleared at her level. The commander hesitated but eventually nodded. "All right, Lieutenant Carter. Don't make me regret this." The hangar went silent. She strapped into the cockpit, her heart pounding. For the first time, the roaring engines of the FA-18 Hornet belonged to her. As the catapult launched her into the sky, she felt the crushing force of acceleration press against her chest. The carrier fell away beneath her, and for a moment she forgot everything. The laughter, the judgment, the doubt. The clouds opened before her like gates of freedom. She performed her maneuvers with flawless precision, matching every command, every vector. When she landed back on deck, the silence wasn't mocking anymore, it was stunned. Even the commander said nothing. He simply nodded once and turned away. But Emily's battle was far from over. A month later, the Valor was dispatched on a classified mission, one that would change everything. Intelligence reported a rogue vessel operating deep in contested waters. The mission was dangerous, uncertain, and critical. Emily was not supposed to be part of it. Yet the night before the sortie, a storm rolled in. Several aircraft suffered technical faults, and they needed an extra pilot for aerial recon. Emily volunteered, stepping forward before anyone else could. The commander stared at her, measuring her courage against the storm outside. Finally, he said, "You're up, Lieutenant. Your call sign?" She hesitated for a moment and then spoke quietly. "Ghosthawk." The name caught a few off guard. It wasn't new. In fact, it was legendary. Ghosthawk had been the call sign of a Navy pilot who went missing 15 years earlier, during a catastrophic carrier explosion, the same accident that had killed Emily's father. The log said he vanished in a firestorm while trying to save another crew. Few knew his real name. Even fewer knew he was Emily's father. When she took off that night, the storm was merciless. Thunder roared across the sea like an angry god, lightning slicing the darkness apart. Her jet shook violently as wind tore against its wings, but she pressed on. Below, radar signatures flickered, the rogue vessel hiding among false echoes. She relayed the coordinates calmly, her voice steady despite the chaos. Her commander's voice crackled in her earpiece. "Ghosthawk, pull back. You're flying too close." But she didn't. She could see something the radar couldn't, a launch tube opening, a missile being armed. Without hesitation, she dove through the storm, targeting the threat manually. She released a pair of countermeasures and a single precision strike. The explosion lit up the ocean like daylight. But in the chaos, her jet was struck by debris. The control panel burst in sparks, alarms blaring. "Ghosthawk, eject! Eject now!" The voice screamed through static, but she didn't. Her fuel line was damaged, her altitude dropping. She used what little control she had left to guide the crippled jet back toward the carrier. Minutes felt like hours. The ship's crew scrambled to signal her in. She was coming in too fast, one engine dead, hydraulic systems failing. As she approached the deck, the rain poured so hard it looked like the sea itself was rising to meet her. She touched down with a jarring thud, metal screeching, sparks flying, but she made it. The jet skidded to a halt, smoke trailing behind it. When the cockpit opened, she was still there, trembling but alive. The crew rushed forward silent, their laughter from weeks ago now replaced by awe. Then someone said it, soft at first, then louder as realization spread. "Ghosthawk." That was her call sign. They ran to the mission control room, pulling up the logs. Every flight record, every mission file from years past carried that name. Ghosthawk, the one who had saved countless lives before vanishing. And now she carried it too. When the commander stepped forward, his voice shook. "Your father's call sign. It's on every mission log in this fleet. You weren't just here to fly, were you?" Emily looked out at the rain, her voice quiet. "No, sir. I was here to finish what he started." From that day, no one laughed when she walked the deck. Her name, her call sign, became more than a symbol. It was a reminder that courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it flies through storms alone. And the crew of the Valor would never forget the night the legend of Ghosthawk returned to the skies. If this story touched your heart, if you felt the storm, the courage, and the silence after victory, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who believes in never giving up. Special request: comment below. Legends never die, they fly again. Let's fill the comments with that one line. For every Ghosthawk who ever flew into the storm and came back stronger.